Hi, in this video we will see how to design an ER model for the given requirements. The requirements for the company database is given as follows. Like the company is organized into departments and each department has a unique name, unique number and a particular employee who manages the department. Then we keep track of the start date when that employee began managing the department. Then a department may have several locations. Each department controls a number of projects and each of which has a unique name, unique number and a single location. Okay, and we store each employee's name, social security number, address, salary, sex and birth date. Then an employee is assigned to one department but may work on several projects which are not necessarily controlled by the same department. We keep track of the number of hours per week that an employee works on each project. We also keep track of the direct supervisor of each employee. Then we want to keep track of the dependents of each employee for the insurance purposes. We keep each dependent's first name, sex, birth date and relationship to the employee. So these are the requirements of company database. Now when you go for designing the any ER diagram, then first thing you have to follow the proper naming conventions. Okay, so use singular names for entity types. So if I say employee, so there are departments or employees. So don't write employees as the entity name. Okay, you have to write only the singular term like employee, department, project. Don't write projects or departments. Okay, so that is not the proper convention. Then verbs tend to indicate the relationship types. See, you have to see what all the nouns present in the statement and what all the verbs or the like adjectives or the special descriptions. So that you have to check. If it is a noun, then it can be considered as entity type. If it is a verb, then you consider that as a relationship. Okay, so it will be mapped to relationship type. Another naming convention or naming consideration involves choosing the binary relationship names, which makes the ER diagram of the schema readable from left to right and top to bottom. These are the conventions we are using. Okay, so I'll go back to the statement. So here for the company we are creating the database. So don't consider company as an entity type. Okay, here company, for the company itself we are making or we are designing the database. Now what they have mentioned, company is organized into departments. Okay, so here department is one entity type. You see the statement, read carefully. So company is organized into departments. So department is one entity. Now what they have mentioned, each department has a unique name, unique number and particular employee who manages that department. So these are the properties which are related or which describes this department entity type. So what are the attributes of department then? The name, department number and the manager. Okay, so employee who manages the department. So I will just use the manager's ID here. Correct. And then we keep track of the start date when that employee began managing the department. Okay, so one is department we got. Another thing is manager. we have to identify another entity type, that is manager. A department may have several locations. Several locations they have mentioned. That means it is a multi-valued attribute. Okay, location is the multi-valued attribute. A department controls a number of projects. Okay, so here project is another entity, because here you can see department controls a number of projects. So again, this is one of the object. Okay, for project, what are the attributes? Project has project name, project number, and the location. Here they have mentioned single location. So this is a simple attribute. But here department has several locations, so multi-value. Okay, then we store each employee's name. So one more entity comes here, employee. Okay, employee attributes are name, social security number, address, salary, sex, and birth date. Okay, so these are the attributes of an employee. Then how these are related? Now relationship we will see later. First we'll identify what are the different entity types. So in this requirements we found department, then manager, employee, and then project. Okay, so these four entity types we have identified, and the attributes of these entity types also we have identified. Then an employee is assigned to one department but may work on several projects. So this is the conditions. Okay, like when you are putting the constraints like participation and cardinality, then you have to think about this. Okay, which are not necessarily controlled by the same department. So what they are telling, an employee is assigned to one department but may work on several projects. Okay, and which are not necessarily controlled by the same department. Then we keep track of the number of hours per week that an employee works on each project. So here department and employee are related. So how we will write that relationship? Employee, here you see where is that? Each department. Okay, so employee works for some department. Okay, so I will relate employee and department with works for relationship. And then employee and project. So employee is working on a particular project. So employee work on project. So work on is another relationship. Okay, and here they have mentioned it is we keep track of the number of hours per week that an employee work on each project. So this number of hours per week, it is specific to work on, right? If he is working on some project, means how many hours he is working, that we have to keep track. So that means the number of hours will be a special attribute of works on relationship. Then we also keep track of the direct supervisor of each employee. Okay, supervisor's information we have to take. So here employee is related to himself. So recursive relationship. Supervisors. Employee, supervisors, another employee. So we must have a recursive relationship between employee to employee entity type. Then we want to keep track of the dependents of each employee for insurance purposes. Now what happens here? Dependent is another entity type. But dependent means they have the first name, sex, birth date and relationship tied to the employees, right? But they don't have their own key attribute. Now how I will identify? So this dependence must be an weak entity type, and it is related to employee entity type. Employee is the identifying. So employee has dependents. Okay, so has will be the identifying relationship. So like this we have to analyze the given statements. Okay, so now how you will specify the cardinality ratios? Like 1 is to 1, 1 is to n is to 1, or m is to 1. So like this you can specify the numbers placing near the entity type or the line which connects entity type to the relationship. Then participation, as I have explained, like for partial single line, for total double line you have to show. Now this is the entire ER diagram of the given company database. See here, I told employee, department, project, then dependent. Okay, so here manager we have not considered as separately, so we have considered this as a relationship. Okay, so employee, department, project and dependent, these are the different entity types. Now, how these are related? So, employee works for department and employee manages some of the department, and here you can see the start date. This is the discriminator or the special attribute of this relationship. And here supervision, this is a recursive relationship because employee supervises another employee. Okay, and what about this attribute? Name has first name, the initial and last name. So I will draw this as a composite attribute. Okay, for address also you can draw as a composite attribute. And then SSN, so employee is identified by SSN, social security number. So I'll consider this as a primary key of an employee. Okay, and here the locations, they have mentioned department will have several locations. So that's why locations will be multi-valued attribute. See the representation for multi-valued, we will use double oval. Okay, and here department name and department number. I can either select number as a key or the name. So here no need to put underline for name. I'll take only the number as the primary key. And how many employees are there, that we will calculate using the relationship. Okay, it's like how many employees are there, that we can derive. So that's why it is the derived attribute. You can see dotted line is given, so that means it is a derived attribute. And then department controls project and employee works on project. So how many hours he is working on, that will be added to this relationship type. This is an attribute of works on relationship type. Then project has number, location and name. You just make number as the primary key here. No need to make name as the primary key, or no need to take the combination of these two. Just you take number as the primary key. Then dependents or employee has, you can write employee has dependent. Okay, so in this you can see here name is underlined by dash line. So this will form a component of the key. So here, because I cannot use name alone as a primary key, so to identify the dependent, I have to take SSN and name. So this indicates it's a partial key. Okay, this is the partial key of this weak entity type. So dependent is weak entity type. That's why we have shown using double rectangle. And dependence of, this is the identifying relationship because it connects weak entity type to the identifying entity type or owner entity type. So that's why this will be drawn using double lines. Okay, and then we'll see the cardinality. Okay, cardinality means like how many instances are participating in the relationship, that we have to map. Employee to department first we'll see, employee works for department. So you can have n number of employees working on one department, right? So one department can have several employees. Whether employee can be assigned to multiple departments, he will be assigned or he will be employed for one particular department, right? So that's why here it is n and this side it is 1. That is many to one relationship. Employee works for department, it is many to one relationship. So several employee can work in one department. They cannot be mapped to multiple departments. Okay, and then always you have to read the relationship from left to right or top to down. For example, here department controls project. Okay, department controls project. Suppose you have written project here and department down, then you have to change the name of this relationship. How you will write then? Project controlled by department. Okay, so here department I have written at the top. That's why department controls project. Now in each department I can have n number of projects, right? But project cannot be assigned to multiple departments. That's why it is one to many. Okay, one to many. And then employee works on project. So what they have mentioned here in the an employee is assigned to one department but may work on several projects. He can work on several projects. That's why here in the works on, employee can work on several projects. One employee can work on several projects, and a project can be developed or it can be maintained by multiple employees or many employees. That's why many to many. Okay, and then employee dependence of employee has dependent. Then what is the cardinality? An employee can have n number of dependents, but a dependent can be a dependent of one employee. Okay, so that's why 1 is to n. And then supervisor, supervision, employee supervision. So here from this side I have given the role name here. When we have a recursive relationship, we have to mention the role names. Okay, an employee can be a supervisor. So this line, in this line we have a supervisor role. Okay, so a supervisor can supervise n number of employees, 0 or more employees. So that's why many. Okay, so here 1 to many. Whether we can have more than one supervisor for the different employees? No, only one supervisor will be there. So that's why 1 is to n. Okay. Then to represent the cardinality, we have another notation. Okay, that is called min-max notation. Okay, it will be specified on each participation of the entity type, and it specifies that each entity participates in at least minimum and at most maximum relationship instances in R. So default will be, if there is no constraint, minimum will be 0, maximum will be 1 n, and if it is when we are specifying min-max notation, minimum must be less than or equal to maximum, and minimum must be greater than or equal to 0, and maximum will be greater than or equal to 1. So minimum means either it can be 0 or more. Maximum means it must be 1 to n number. And mainly whatever requirements we have, from there we will derive the min-max notation, these numbers. See here, a department has exactly one manager and an employee can manage at most one department. What this indicates? A department has exactly one manager and an employee can manage at most one department. So what is the min-max notation? So entities are employee and department. Now here whether every employee can manage the department? No, right? Partial it is. So what happens in that case? 0 or more. But what is the maximum? Employee can manage only one department. Okay, employee can manage only one department. That's why minimum is 0, he may not manage, or if he manages, then maximum is 1. So 0 to 1, 0 comma 1. And here this side department will have at most one manager. So each department will have one manager. Okay, exactly one manager. So minimum is also 1, maximum is also 1. Similarly, employee works for department. Employee belongs to only one department, correct? So that means minimum and maximum will be 1 only. If at all, see, each employee must be assigned or he must belong to a department. He must work for a particular department. Okay, so 1 to 1, that is, sorry, 1 comma 1, min and max is 1 comma 1. And here, if we take department, here he will work for how many department? What is the instance here? So it specifies what is the participation. Department must participate, that means it must have an employee. So how many employees they can have? Minimum 1 employee must be there. With 0 employee, department does not exist. That's why 1 employee must be there. And maximum how many employees it can have? So n number of employees. We don't know the maximum number. Suppose if they specify maximum 10 employees can be there in each department, then I can write 1 comma 10. But here we don't know what is the maximum. That's why we'll specify it as n. So using min-max notation, we can see here employee works for department. So here employee is participating, actually is 1 to 1, okay, and here 4 comma n. So minimum they have specified 4 employees must be there. So that's why it is 4. Okay, and employee manages department. He may not manage. If he manages, then maximum 1 department he can manage. Okay, and here it is in the managers relationship. What is the total count or min max number? So 1 comma 1. So department can have exactly 1 manager. So it must have 1 manager. So 1 comma 1. And works for, employee works on project. So an employee can work on minimum 1 project he must work, and he can work on any number of projects. So minimum is 1, maximum is n. And the same way project must be must involve minimum 1 employee and maximum n number of employees. Then dependents, employee can have dependent or may not have, right? So if he is not having any dependent, that means minimum is 0 and maximum I don't know any number, so n, 0 comma n. And here if the dependent, so dependent is fully participating, right? So that's why we are showing double lines here. Okay, and here what happens? 1 comma 1, that means a dependent must related to only 1 employee. So minimum is 1, maximum is 1. Okay, he actually dependent of only 1 employee, and he must be a dependent on 1 employee, because then only we will store the information in this dependent table. Then employee supervision. So here the 0 to n. So maximum how many whether all the employees are supervisors? No, right? So 0. And you can have any number of supervisors. So 0 comma n. And supervision maximum how many? from this side. Employee can supervise. Suppose he is not a supervisor, then he is not supervising anyone, right? So 0. Minimum is 0. And maximum is he will supervise 1. Okay. So supervisee and supervisor. So here employee supervises an employee. Okay, maximum we can have n number of supervisors and he will supervise an employee. So this is the notation using min max.